Good morning, Stanton. We are jumping right now in a Mercury Star Runner, and I've decided to take this time to explain a little bit about the video that you are about to see. So, you may be a new player, and this is mainly for new players, this video here, or just new to some of the areas. And so I've decided to make kind of a little tutorial. Oh, I think we're almost at our location. A little tutorial on how to land at certain areas. So we're on our way to ArcCorp right now, and ArcCorp has Area 18, which the first time I tried landing at it was not an easy place to land. I had a little bit of an issue trying to learn where the landing place was. So there's 4 videos here because I've tried to make a little guide for both how, as a new player, to wake up in a hab and get to your ship, or as a new player, how to arrive at a planet like ArcCorp here, or Hurston, or Orison, or Microtech, and land at the major city. So it's 4 videos, both taking off, finding your ship from a hab to the hangars, as well as from space, finding the landing zone and landing at the landing zone for these. So if you have never played before, this will help you for the first trouble you have, which is how do I get to my ship. It's not comprehensive. It doesn't show everything you need to do and all the little nuanced bits of playing, but it should be helpful for finding your new ship or finding the landing zone when you're coming in for a landing. I'm also going to release these videos separately. So I'm releasing this video, which will be all 4 parts together. It's a little bit longer, it's about an hour, but then I've tried to keep each one to about 15 minutes, and that includes both getting from the habs to the hangars and taking off, as well as arriving at a planet like we've just arrived here, finding the landing zone and landing your ship, and getting from there to the terminal to store your ship. That's about how far I've gone in both directions. So hopefully you find it useful. Either you will, if you've never really played, or if you want to check them all out at once, watch this video. If you're only looking for a specific major landing zone, which is Orison, Lorville, Area 18, or New Babbage, then just check out on my channel the individual video for that landing. And hopefully it is helpful. So enjoy the video, and once again, thanks for watching. Goodbye. Good morning, Stanton. Today we are going to learn about how to both leave and find your ship from Lorville on Hurston, as well as when coming in for a landing, how to land at Hurston. If you want to know a little bit more about controlling your ship and more of the gameplay features, a little bit more of a how-to, look at any of my other tutorials, but this one is mainly for if you've never been to this location, or even if you're new and you're starting out and you just want to know, where's my ship? How do I get to my ship? How do I start exploring this game? And you've chose Lorville as your starting location. Just follow along here, and I will be fairly quick as I'm going through this. This is a fairly short video. So when you start out, you're going to be starting out in bed, and just holding down Y will get you out of your bed. Once out of your bed, you're in a little hab, like a little apartment. Using F and clicking on anything like the door will allow you to open the door. Now you're starting in a hab location where you're either downstairs or upstairs. If you're downstairs, you're going to have to come up to the 2nd floor, and the opposite wall from the windows, you're going to find an elevator on the 2nd floor. Now we're actually on the 4th floor, so each floor is 2 levels. So you can see here that we are on floor 4, goes up to 6, but we're going to go to the ground floor. So again, holding F, using the mouse wheel to scroll and click, you can get the elevator to bring you to the ground floor. Once the doors open up, you're going to basically be sticking to the left. So we're taking a left turn here, and then we're kind of hugging this left wall. You're going to see outside a bit, and you can see that's actually the spaceport right over there that we're going to be heading towards, but we're going to have to actually take a train to get there. So again, sticking to the left wall, we're going up here along this side, and turning left again, lots of lefts. Go up this little staircase here. You can see it says Metro Center above. That is where we're heading. We're heading towards that sign there. So coming down here, if you want, you can actually look, there's a little bit of a map there to kind of show you if you want to explore this area, find some of the different shops and things that are around. But we are heading towards where your city says to City Gates and to Esop Spaceport. So City Gates are to the right. And if you look here, it says Perimeter Line as opposed to Spaceport Line. Now Perimeter Line is where you'd go if you have a ground vehicle. So if you have a ground vehicle, you can go to any of these gates here for the perimeter line. You can see there's 1 to 6, so you can go gates 1 to 3, 4 to 6. So you can see here the gates from an aerial view showing where each gate is, and these are where you would have ground vehicles. But we are going to go to the left. Again, remember staying to the left, and we're going to get on to one of the trams. This one's arriving in about 15 seconds. Now we have a person here. I think another person shows up to the left while I was doing this. Yep, there they are. So we have other players here, and they're waiting to get on the trams as well. So these trams usually come about once a minute, so if you miss one, don't worry about it, just wait here and another one will show up. So this tram here will take you to the spaceport. So you just sit on here, the doors will eventually close. You get to enjoy the view out the window looking at Hurston, whether it's daytime or nighttime. You can kind of see over a bit of the city as we head towards the spaceport.
Be considerate of your fellow travelers. Do not lock doors. Next stop, Metro Center.
So I've jumped ahead here. We are now entering the spaceport. This is the end of the tram. You can see a little sign showing you where the exit is. Follow the exit signs. Now these kind of look like I'm sneaking through a bunch of areas, but they're pretty much self-explanatory. There's really only one way to go. Now if you go towards this one, you're going to get on another train, the Central Business District. That is where you're going to sell items. So if you have things in your ship cargo hold that you need to sell, or you want to buy some items, that's where you'd go. It'd be another train ride. But we're going to keep going through here, going through the customs and security checkpoints. Just keep going up until you find a staircase going up. Now you'll know you're on the right track when that staircase above it, you can see these like triangular lights, and it also say welcome to the terminal. So here we're going to one of these. These are known as the Esop Terminals. So F, and then click on it while holding F and choose your ship. Once you decide what ship you're going to take out, you're going to click on retrieve. If you need to claim a ship that's been destroyed, this is where you can do that as well. So once it's claimed, or once it's pulled out of storage, it's going to tell you what hangar it is. That is hangar 9. You can also see a little mark has shown up, and we're going to go over to the window. You can see it's showing hangar 9, and that's hangar 9 right there. We're looking at the spaceport, so if some other player is standing at this window and you take off, they'll see you come out of there. So from the Esop Terminals, you're actually going to continue on past New Deal, which is a ship sale location. We're going to where it says elevators to hangars. So elevators to hangars, you can see, are a little bit to the left. So we're just going to go around here. Elevators, you can see the arrows there. And we have elevators on both sides, 6 elevators. Any one of them will take you to your location. So you just click on there, hold out F and click. And if you ever forget, you can look, that says hangar 9 right on there. So go there, hold down F. You can mouse wheel up and down until you find the right hangar, click. And there we go. We are going to our ship. Once at your ship, you'll see little circles sometimes show up. They'll say ladder access, elevator, ramp access, door. They'll help you find your way in, because all ships are different. So this is the Nomad. It's got this cool ladder. So we're going to climb up into there. Some ships you'll climb right into the cockpit. Other ones you're going to have to go find your pilot seat. So we're going to find the pilot seat. And once we find it, again, hold F and click on the seat when it says enter pilot seat. Now, if your ship has never flown, it's going to be off. This one has flown, so it is currently on. So you just push R, and that will turn your ship on. Now looking there, that box shows your maximum speed. So I'm going to mouse wheel down so that you can't fly too fast while you're just coming out. If you're new to it, you might want to do that. Also, if you have your ship engines off when you landed, you might have to hit I to turn them on, but these ones are all on. So we hit F11 and then friends and then landing services, and that requested a landing. And so now above us the elevator or the hangar doors are opening. You can also use the landing service on one of the displays if it's showing up and you know how to use MFDs. You can actually change that. I've hit F4 here, and you can hold down Z and you can kind of scroll around or move the mouse wheel around to like look at the different angles of the ship, but I just wanted to show you putting the landing gear up and put your landing gear up, and we are in space here. So here I am holding Z while moving the mouse around so I can kind of pan around on the ship. If you do not hold Z, the ship itself will move as opposed to your view. So we've just kind of pointed up a bit, and we're holding W, and you can use Q and E for roll, S for reverse, A and D for strafe, control for going straight down, space for going straight up. All the different controls are relatively the same for most places. You can see I have mouse wheeled up, so the maximum speed is fairly high. If it goes into the red, that's okay. That just means you don't have the ability to control your turning as much. It's not hurting your engines to be going into the red. Also, my landing gear is up because I've tapped N, and that's pulled my landing gear up. So you have to go up until you can jump. Now you look at the altitude there, we're at about 8,000. We have to get to 9,000. Once we're at 9,000, you can see all those marks have shown up, are yellow now. So to get to the spooling drive, and I spool this up, is you tap B, and that puts on your quantum drive. Once you have a target in place, you can then hold B, and that allows you to fly that target. But what I've done is I've just used that to make sure that I'm far enough away. So we look down now, we can see how high we are over the city. And that is how you leave Lowerville. Now if you are coming the other way and you're needing to land at Lowerville, you're going to start in space. Now Lowerville is a city that you can see from space. Even here, where it's mostly obscured by dust and fog and it's a bit dark, we can see the largest building shining out there. So we need to get closer. So tap B to put your drive on and let it spool up. Now any city you land at, you can see some of these shapes here. We have some hexagons, we have some diamonds. Cities are always that kind of home plate looking 5-sided shape. So we're going to aim at it, we're going to calibrate till we're all the way there. Once we're all the way there, hold down B, and that will bring you into the city to land. So we are now getting closer by using that. You could just fly there, but it's much quicker to use your jump drive. As you can see, a lot of the city was obscured by dust, making it a bit harder to see.
Quantum travel complete.
So now that we're a bit closer, it's a little bit faint, but you can see this box of blue lights that is right in the center there. I'll zoom in a bit and you can see this box, this rectangle. That is the spaceport. That is where you're aiming. So you just want to hold down W and fly towards the spaceport. I'm thinking I might have edited this a bit, so we're not going to be able to have to wait for me to fly all the way there. That little shape that's moving in the bottom, that very bright chevron, is another ship that's taking off and flying away. It's shown up on your scanners. You also notice I've mouse wheeled down to bring my speed a bit slower so that I'm not going too fast. So here we've kind of warped ahead and we're going a bit closer to the spaceport, and it's just had a little message saying please contact ATC to land has popped up on the top of our screen. So we can hit F11, hit friends, and go landing services, and that's going to request a landing. So we're just requesting a landing, and once their request has been granted, now there's a little symbol there, a little circle with a downward facing chevron. That is our target. That's where we're going to go land our ship. So that's our assigned landing point, and if it's a place that has doors like a hangar or a bay, they're going to open up for us now. So we're just flying towards it. We're using the mouse wheel to control our speed, rolling the mouse wheel up and down if we need to move a little bit faster just to cover some ground, but rolling down so we're not going to get too close. Now the ship I'm in right now is a Mercury Star Runner. It's a fairly large ship, so I want to make sure that I'm coming in nice and flat. So I've tapped N, and that's lowered my landing gear. You can see on the left side there, gear is lit up. That means my landing gear is down. And once I'm coming over to the top of this landing hangar, I'm using control to drop straight down, and I'm also using F4 so that I can see the exterior of the ship and make sure that I'm centered and that my wings are not going to hit the entrance as I come through, and just being nice and slow. If at any time the doors start to close on you, just request the landing again and the doors will open up. You can see there I fit in nice and tight, but I fit in maybe a little bit close to that front there, but I backed off. That's fine. Just using control to drop down, and we are in what I would consider to be one of the easiest places to land at, because it's very easy to find the landing point of Lorville, the large building in a big glowing box. Now here you can use this to refill any of the fuel, repair, restock, just by using F1 to open your mobile glass and choose the vehicle services while you're sitting at the landing pad. So I've turned off my engines with I, holding Y, and I'm getting out of my ship. So coming out of the ship, we are right near the elevators here, so just going to choose an elevator. Now I really should have closed my hangar, my ramp for my ship, so always remember to close your ramp. But I'm going to go store this, so I didn't really bother at the moment. But you don't want other people running into your ship. Remember to close your doors. So we've come out, and if you've watched the beginning of this video, this is the reverse. So we've come out of the elevators, and we're just going to the terminal. And from there we're going to store the ship, and then once we've stored the ship we can go down the steps to your left and head towards the train and head into the city or head towards the central business district, and you are done. You are now at Lowerville. Good morning, Stanton. We are going to learn how to leave and find your ship, as well as how to land at New Babbage. Now, I consider New Babbage on Microtech to be the second easiest place to land at. I'd say Lowerville slightly easier, but New Babbage, even in the dark, you can usually find the spaceport pretty easily. As far as leaving, though, New Babbage can be a little bit more complex because of the trains. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So when you're in New Babbage, when you start, you're going to start out in a hab, and in this hab you just want to again hold F and click on the door to open the door after tapping Y to get out of bed. Now I'm not going to go really into too deeply the controls of this game, because I do have other tutorials you can look at, but once you're out of your hab you can see out the window there is the spaceport. It is across the lake, and we can see the trams that you're going to be taking to get there. In fact, I can see one moving down the track right now, a little light moving down the track. So out of your hab, you're going to find the elevator of the Nest, which is the building you're in, and you're going to click on Call Elevator, again using F and then a mouse click in order to interact with the elevator buttons. Once in the elevator, hold F and you can scroll down to choose floors, but the lobby on the bottom is always available. So you're just going to click lobby and go down to the lobby. Now, I noticed that my helmet light was on there for a second. I'm not sure why. If you ever have that bright light, tap T and that will turn it off. So we're in the lobby now, in the main area. Now here's where I made a little bit of a mistake, because I have not been to New Babbage in a while, and normally right here was the stairs to go down to the subway, but it's now a new hospital entrance with some sort of horrible gurney accident. So the stairs to the subway are on either side, left and right, you're going down. So that was just something new that kind of caught me off guard. But go down these stairs and you're going to get down to the subway platform. You can see here on the Metro Loop we have the spaceport and we have the commons. We want to go to the spaceport if you want to get to your ship. If you want to do shopping, head towards the commons. So this one's arriving in about 15 seconds. Sometimes it'll be a bit longer, but it'll always tell you how long until the next train arrives. So once the train arrives, we're just going to get on and it'll start moving us towards the spaceport.
Stand clear of disembarking passengers.
So no one on the train, we got the whole train to ourselves. We're just waiting until the train starts moving. It's departing in about 6 seconds there, and it's going to bring us across the lake. Now, it is nighttime, so we don't have quite the same view as you would have in the day once the train starts moving, but you'll be able to see some of the sky and the stars. I can't recall if I cut this short or not. I don't think I did, but it's not a very long trip. You can see the spaceport, those red lights in the distance, that's where we're heading. So it's not very far at all, and we'll get there, but we are just shooting across the open expanse of the lake. So looking back, the tram is kind of blocking the view, but that was the nest over there that we were originally sleeping in, where we woke up. But once we get to the spaceport, we're actually going to be down below underneath. So in order to get the spaceport, we're going to have to take an elevator up to the surface. So we are there. Outside of the doors, just look and you'll see an exit sign. There's one right there. We're going to head towards the exit, and we're going to head up the stairs. Or no stairs here. We're going to head into the elevator here. So click an elevator button, and once the elevators arrive, we're going to get in and choose Spaceport. We're at the new Babbage International Spaceport Terminal, and we're going to go up, and we're going to be getting our ship shortly. So outside this elevator, this is where there's a flight of stairs. You have two choices. You're going to either go left or right, and there's really no difference between the two, going left or right. So once we go up the last big flight of stairs here, I believe I go left, but it's not going to make a difference left or right because we're just coming around into the main terminal location. So straight ahead is a little bit of shopping, and then right here you can see where it says surface entrance. That has some terminals to get out vehicles if you have a land vehicle, but we're going to go to hangars. We're going to find Esop Terminals. Esop Terminals are these orange and black screens here. F and click, and then you can choose your ship. So retrieve, we're going to retrieve ourselves a Nomad, and we're just going to wait until it's delivered to a location, and it will tell us where it is. So it is at Hangar 4. So we're going to go to an elevator. Now if you look, our ship is showing us it's 220 meters away, and it's at Hangar 4. So if you ever forget, you can see where your ship is and how far it is. So in here, holding F, we can scroll till Hangar 4. We've actually gone a little far. There it is. Choose Hangar 4, and we're just going to wait as the elevator whips us over to our ship location. So as opposed to the ones where there's a hangar with the doors above, this one, the hangar doors are directly ahead. We get into our Nomad, the ladder comes down, we'll climb in, and once we're in, we got to get to the pilot seat. And if our ship is not powered on, you hit you hit R to power your ship on. And then you, if you have your ship powered on but the engines aren't on, you just have to tap I to turn them on. So I'm going to look here, and I have no power and the engines are off. Now if anytime your camera drifts like this, hit F4 for external view, hit F4 again, and it'll center back up. So I've hit I to turn my engines on, not thinking that my ship is not yet powered on. So you can see they're off right now, hit I, they're back on. However, I don't know why I wasn't paying attention. Maybe it's because everything else lit up, that the ship itself, because none of the MFD screens are on. So I'm requesting a takeoff by hitting F11, going to Friends, going to International Space Station, and then I realized my ship's not on. So hit R, ship is on, ready to fly. And we could have actually hit that comms that I'm pointing at on the bottom left there, and that will request our takeoff as well. So there, our doors are opening. Spacebar to lift off a little bit. Once we lift off, you can always hit N to bring up your landing gear, and then you're hitting W, S, A, D for controls, left, right, forwards, and back. So you can see I've hit N and my landing gear is up now. I'm just kind of taking a look at the ship, but you don't really need an exterior view in order to get out of these openings. The ships are very small compared to the openings, so it's usually a pretty easy fit. Large ships, you want to make sure everything is fully open, but just take it slow and head out. Once we head out, you can see there's a city straight ahead, and we are leaving the spaceport behind us and heading soon into space. So almost directly ahead there is the nest. That's where we started when we first woke up. So we're heading up into space, and you can see we're at about 2,300, 2,500. Our altitude is going up and up and up. I believe on this planet we need to get it to about 11,000 feet before we can use our jump drives to jump to a new location. So a small ship like this you can point basically straight up and fly. Larger ships you can't quite do that. But this is one of the planets that takes a little bit longer to get out of, but really not too bad. 11,000 should be pretty quick. So once we get back in, I'll take a look at where we are now, but I'd say we're about halfway. So we're about 9,000, so actually more than halfway. So if we look 10,000, 11,000, and now some of those triangles have turned orange. So I had tapped B to turn on my jump drive, and now I could point at any of those targets that I wanted to fly to and hold B, and I'd be able to jump to them. You can also use your star map in order to set a location, but I'm just going to jump potentially to, say, orbital marker 1 there, and I'm good to go. So hitting F2, you can choose a location in your star map. So if I want to go to Port Tressler, I can choose that, set route, and then that will be the only mark showing up on my screen. So if we look now, there's an arrow at the top. So I'm going to aim towards it, bring the whole ship there, and once we've calibrated, we're at 50%, 70%. Once we're totally there, hold down B, and we've jumped to Port Tressler. So quite quickly, we've jumped that whole entire distance. So now we are coming in for a landing at New Babbage. So when you're coming towards Microtech and you want to come land at New Babbage, first things first is we're going to come out of our jump over the planet. So we could set a location using F2 and using our star map, but as long as your jump drive is cooled down so it brings up all the targets, I just look for the one that looks like home plate, and that is the major landing city at any place. So, and Microtech, it will be New Babbage, but you can see we're still having a bit of a cooldown period for this jump drive because it was a fairly large jump. So while we're waiting, I'm zooming in on Microtech and I'm setting potentially a route to New Babbage. I don't know if I actually set it or I'm just showing you that it's possible to do that. Doesn't look like I did. What I did is I actually just found New Babbage right there. Looks like home plate. Once I've calibrated, hold down B, and we're going to fly right there. Now it is fairly far away, so it's going to be on the far side of the planet. It's not going to be bright, but even in the dark, New Babbage is still relatively easy to find a place to land at. So here's a beautiful shot coming over the planet, coming around. A lot faster than just flying, using the engines to use the jump drive. And it'll bring you, I think, about 20 kilometers away. I can't recall how far it gets. But coming in, looks to be about 25. So here we are. We're actually upside down because we were kind of going over the city, or over the planet upside down. So I'm going to rotate, and you can see the spaceport on the far side there. So it's a little hard to see because it's dark, but you can see the massive part of the city, and then lights further off. And that is the spaceport. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. You can see the tram lines, you can see the frozen lake, and there's the spaceport on the other side of the city. So very easy to see. This is what it looks like in the daytime. It's got a few towers, it's got hangars on the top, and it's got ports on the other side. So as we get closer, you can see it's standing out a lot more, and red lights will appear on it, making it much more noticeable. So now you can see the red lights are starting to come in as we get a bit closer in our draw distance. So here we are, a lot closer now. I've hit N to lower my gear. You can see my gear is down now, and I'm just kind of coming in, waiting until a little sign shows me right there. Please contact ATC to land, or ATC to land. Hit F11, hit friends, and request a landing. Of course, anytime you can use one of the screens on your ship, you can have it set to comms and use that to request a landing. But F11 and friends always works. So there is our target. We're going to come in. Once we're closer, this is a hangar that we got to land in from above. So what we're going to do is we're just going to use the mouse wheel to control our maximum speed, make sure we're not going too fast, and we're going to use control to drop us straight down, watching our angles. We're coming right in for a beautiful landing. Always important to make sure your landing gear down, and we've touched down. So once we're in here, I hit I. You can see my engines, my hydrogen and quantum levels are disappeared, so I've turned it off. Hold Y to get out of our seats, and we're going to exit our ship. We're going to head right over to there to the AeroView elevators. So here are the elevators. They're going to bring us up to the spaceport itself. Once in the spaceport, we can go to the kiosks, the Esop Terminals here, and it's always good just to store your ship. So I've stored our ship and it's put away, and now we are in the terminal. We got these little glowing balls, which are kind of a symbol of microtech. Those are where you'd go to get your vehicles. If you wanted a vehicle, you would get them there. There's some elevators over there. You can do a little bit of shopping just to the right here, coming down the stairs. But what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the Metro Loop. So we're going to come around this corner and down here and into the Metro Loop. And in the Metro Loop, you could take either one to the I forget what it's called now. Let's see if it says here. There's either the shopping district or like the living quarters area. So there's like the two areas that you get on the Metro Loop. So that is basically it. You are now in New Babbage. You've landed your ship and you can kind of explore. If you log out anywhere in here, when you log back in, you'll be in a hab in New Babbage, and the beginning of this video will show you how to find your ship and get out and get home. Good morning, Stanton, and here we are in another video showing you how to find your way around a city. A fairly simple video, not getting really too much into the control, so if you're a really new player, check out say my other tutorials talking a bit more on how to control things. The main thing to know is getting out of bed, you tap Y. Holding F and clicking with the mouse allows you to interact with a number of things that are around here. So we start out in our habs in a bed. We're going to click Y, and once we click Y, we will get out of bed. We're going to go over to the door, hold F, and we're going to click on the door, and that will open up the door. And we will be in the communal area for the habs here. So from here, you have to find the exit that'll bring you out to the elevator. You're either going to be on the left side or the right side. So we're in 1 to 5 here, not 6 to 10, so we are on the left side. So we can look out the windows here at the city. We want to get down there a little bit closer to the ground level, although I believe we're only on level 6 here. Yeah, not very high. So we're going to click on this elevator and get in and get down to the ground floor. So once we're at ground floor, then we will look for the concierge desk. There it is there, so that is the exit in that direction. And we're just going to take this and we're going to head out and we're going to head to the right. So from the right, we're heading towards Arcourt Plaza, which will have this giant glowing globe. in it. So from there, you really have two options. If you have stuff that you want to buy for your ship, some cargo, or you have cargo to sell, there is the trade division right there, trade development division. This makes Area 18 on our corp one of the best places for trading if you have cargo, because if you have cargo and you have to land and then you have to log out and you want to log back in, you don't have to take a train in order to get to the development. It's very close. But we're going to City Flight, so we just go around this corner here, and we're going to go down a flight of stairs, and we're heading to basically like little flying taxis. So we're going to head down this pathway and follow it till we get to the end where we get on the taxis. So here we are, and there's one here waiting for us. If we miss one, it's not too bad. I think I looked to see, and it's about a minute, but this one will fly to the airport. Now I didn't want to spoil it, so we're flying to this giant red and white flat area here. You didn't get to see any of the city here, so you've never been to Area 18. It's much more impressive to experience on your own, so I didn't want to have you seeing that flight and miss out all the views. So we are now in this giant red and white area that is the spaceport. And so it's automatically bringing us to the next area, which is just up here, and we'll get out. And once we're out, we're going to head to the terminals where you can take out your ship. So from here, we're just going to go around all these chairs. We're going to go into the Riker Spaceport, which is to the right. You can see little arrows here. Just kind of follow back and forth. A lot of these places look very confusing, but you realize there's really only one way to go through. It's almost like a snake slithering back and forth. So you come here and we have the terminals. More Esop Terminals. Click F and choose your ship. So we already have a ship here. We're going to retrieve it. And then basically we're going to go all the way around to the back of this. And we're going to come here and out the other side. So you can see here it says hangar elevators. That's what we're going for. Hangar elevators to the right. And you can see that group of elevators. There's two little kiosks. There's one there and there's one here. Any of these elevators will bring you to your ship. If you ever forget where your ship is, just look down. You can see here it says hangar 3 at 329 meters away. Your ship, when it's pulled out, will always remind you where it is. So it's very handy because I used to forget all the time before they added that. So hangar 3, you choose that. If it's lower down, if it's say hangar 7 or 8, you might have to hold F and mouse wheel to scroll to get to where your ship is. But there it is. You can see it's getting closer and closer. And it's 50 meters away, and we're there. As with any other place, you got to get into your ship, and then we're going to call for landing services to open the hangar doors. So hold F, click the pilot seat. We're in our seat now, if you weren't already. Now this ship here is powered on, but if your ship is not powered on, hit R. If it's like this one where I have my engines off, hit I, turn your engines on. You can see they're off right there. And now, as soon as I hit I, my engine's on. Now you could either click the screen that has the landing services on it in the bottom left there. If you don't have that, or if you haven't set up your screens, you can just request to take off. So I'm showing you right here. There's the landing services on my screen. But you can also hit F11 to open up your Mobi glass. Then click Friends and click Area 18 Landing Services, and wait until they provide you with a takeoff. So there we are. Now if we look up, the doors are starting to open. So to lift off straight, just hold down spacebar. You should lift off. Now I've got an external view here that's using F4 and Z to like with the mouse to move around, but you don't need to. Just hold space while in your ship. Now you can see my gear is up, so if I hit N, just tap N, my gear will flash, it's raising, and now my gear is raised, so it's not out anymore. So I'm just using space to lift up, and once I'm out of the place, I can just aim towards the sky, holding W. If I want to go faster, I can use the mouse wheel, and that will allow me to go even faster. And I'm going to head out into space. Now, in order to use your jump drive, in order to go somewhere else, you're going to have to get out of the atmosphere. And I believe our corp is about 7,000, maybe 7,250 meters. So back in the cockpit, you should be able to see your altitude. and just watch your altitude. Once you're over 7,000, you should be able to get into space. In the meantime, just look at this city. It's amazing. So here, our altitude is about 5,500, about 6,000. It's on the right side there. You can see it's climbing. And I've got my jump drive. I've hit B, and it's spooling up. But until we hit 7,200, there was all red. But now we have some orange targets, some orange triangles. We can aim towards those, and we can jump towards them. And so that is it. You've basically got your ship and got it into space. Step 1. Now landing at Area 18 was a little bit harder. I've gotten a bit better at it now that I know what I'm looking for. The big mistake people make when they get to our corp is they try to fly to Area 18. Now you jump to Area 18, but once you're there, you don't fly to Area 18, because if you do, you're not going to find the spaceport. You'll be too far away from it, and it won't even show up. So once your jump drive has cooled down, you can look for Area 18 on the star map, or you can just look for it on the planet's surface by looking for the home plate looking shape when your jump drive is spooled up and aim towards it. So I'm just kind of looking around the planet here, seeing if I notice this, and there we are. There is the home plate. I'm almost pointed right at it. So you can see it's just to the right there. It looks like a 5-sided shape pointing down. So once I aim right at it, Area 18, 1,500 kilometers away, technically 1,509. So we're going to wait till we're calibrated. We're going to hold down B. Instead of tapping it, we're holding it down, and now we are flying quickly that distance to Area 18. So in the nighttime, this is a bit harder. So luckily it's a bit darker when I'm coming in here. So you can see even in the dark, it's not impossible. In the daytime, landing at Area 18, once you know what you're looking for, is incredibly easy. The only reason it's kind of hard is because you never know what you're looking for originally. You can just see how much of this planet is covered by cities. It's crazy. So we always come in upside down. We're going to use Q or E to roll. But look at the top of the screen there. You can see this shape. It's kind of foggy, but it's red and white. It's this big red and white flat area. I'm going to do an external view and take a look at it. So there you can see, it's a giant red and white flat shape. Now if we fly to Area 18, we're going to be flying away from this. We're going to be flying towards one of those big spires that's up ahead. We don't want that. You want to head down to that shape, not where Area 18 is showing up ahead, straight down to this red and white thing. If you don't fly there, you're not going to find the spaceport. This giant red and white thing is the spaceport. It stands out, but you have to get close to it to find it. And from here, you're too far away. So we're coming in close now, and all of a sudden, there you go. Please contact ATC to land. So we can click on that on the screen there, or I can use F11, Friends, and then click Contact ATC, and that will give us a landing. So doing that, we are now at the spaceport, at what I'd say is the second hardest place to land at. It used to be the hardest just because it was hard to find, especially in the dark. But you can see this little circle with the downwards pointing arrow. That's where we go now. That is my landing area. As opposed to a hangar that you drop straight in, this is one of the landing bays you can see here with the doors opening up. So we're just going to bring it in nice and slow, so I could use my mouse wheel to control my maximum speed, or just tap W. You want to bring yourself in. Also, I've tapped N to bring my landing gear down. Make sure your landing gear is down, and we are just coming right in for landing.
Landing complete. Engine systems disabled. Engine systems enabled.
Now this one here, I wanted some quantanium, so I've hit F1 and I've chosen the repair services, the little wrench at the bottom, and I've refilled quantanium for 48 UEC. Now if you look at my quantanium, it's quite low, and it's going to go up in a moment because I've bought some. And there we go, it's filling up. So if you want to refill your fuel, or if you want to refill weapons, or if you want to do some repairs, you can do that while landed. So then I've hit I to turn off my engines, I've held Y to get out, and now I'm heading into Area 18, into the elevator. And this is the reverse of if you were leaving from here. Just go to the spaceport, and then to your left, you can go to the kiosks. You gotta go up these stairs to the left here. And so these are where you're gonna store your ship. And once you've stored your ship, go around to the far side. Oh, didn't work there for a second. Store the ship. There you go. So we'll go around to the far side. And then from there, we're gonna go to the platform and walk through here. And we're gonna get onto one of the trains. And that's it. You are now officially in Area 18. And you can explore this massive city, knowing how you're going to easily find your way back out again and back to the spaceport. And as usual, I've missed a train just as I was coming in. Until next time. Good morning, Stanton, and we are going to be showing you how to get to your ship from the newest location, which is Orison on the planet Crusader. So if you are starting out in Orison, aside from the horrible frame rates, you might get lost and not know where you're going at all. So this is just a little video showing you how to get to your starting ship from the hab. So when you wake up in the habs, you can have a beautiful view, one of the best views, and actually one of the best habs. So you get out of the hab, just hitting Y to get out of bed. And remember, for most of the things, you're holding down F and clicking on something to interact. So we're going to get to the door after I look around at this beautiful hab, look at the TV, get to the door, hold F, click open. Now, the habs here too have these little balconies, which are kind of neat. So I kind of ran out here and look where we are. I don't believe we're too high up, but you can actually go up to, I think, the 17th or 18th floor, which is the top floor, which to have this like whole area to explore on. But we're gonna head over to the elevators from the habs. Again, hold F and click elevator. Once the doors open, we are only on floor 1, so we're not high up at all. I think it's 17 floors. Let's see, 17, and then there's a roof. So I guess there's 18th floor. So we're gonna go to the Green Circle lobby. The Green Circle is the name of these habs, this hotel basically that we're at, or apartments. I guess they're kind of like a hotel. So you could go straight ahead past that rock and outside. I don't suggest that. If you want to get to your ship, go to the right. Go to the exit here, which is kind of around the back. So once you exit, you can see there's a bunch of stuff. There's a hotel, hospital right away in the beginning. Over here in this direction, there's like one of the whale statue over here. There's shopping in between right here at Stratus, so you can go there and go shopping. And there is a platform that a lot of people get on, and this is a platform, the transit platform, that's going to get you to the spaceport eventually, but it's actually going to bring you to the Providence platform first before it goes to the spaceport. You actually want to go around to the back, so go around to this side and you see another transit. This transit brings you right to August Dunlow Spaceport. So both of them will get you there. It's almost like a big circle loop. One goes clockwise, one goes counterclockwise, but this one is a little bit faster. We can just get into one of these driverless kind of shuttles, and you can sit down and look at the TVs. You can see this one's just leaving. The next one, it'll be about a minute. So even if you miss it, you don't have to wait long. Now I cut out a lot of this because I don't want you to see the beautiful views, but look at this. This is as we're coming into the spaceport. Look at how this looks. Even with the kind of crappy frame rates, even with the clouds that are kind of all weird, it's still amazing. So I just had to show that, but I've cut out most of the trip. So first time player, you can experience this on your own, looking at whatever you want. So you didn't have to look at mine. Also made this a bit quicker video, which is kind of important. But we're coming in here, we're gonna get off our shuttle, and we will be in the bottom part of the space station.
Approaching next station. If this is your stop, please prepare to disembark.
So here we are underneath the main part of the spaceport. We're going to head to these elevators, and once we find these elevators, we're going to get in and we're going to go up to the station proper. So here we are in the station, and we're just going to make our way through. You'll know you're on the right track when you come outside briefly. So coming around a couple of these corners, a couple of stairs, and here we are outside. So we're going to go up this last flight of stairs, and we're going to take a right. You can see it says hangars right there. We're just going to follow that sign. So here's a ring of Esop Terminals. Go to any one you want and just choose your ship. So on actions, we're going to retrieve, we're going to pull out our ship. This one here is on Hangar 7, so we're going to go to any elevator. And we're going to call the elevator, get in, and we're going to head to Hangar 7. So that was fairly quick. Hangar 7's fairly close apparently. So this one we're going to be flying straight out the front, so we're going to get into our ship and into the pilot seat and all powered up. If you have never flown the ship before, you're going to have to hit R to turn it on. If it's already been powered up, you may just need to hit I to turn on your engines if they're off. This one here is fully powered up, but the engines are off. You can see hydrogen and quantanium are in the red on the right here. So I need to hit I, and that will turn on my engines. So you can use F1 to open your mobi glass, and you can refuel if you need it. I refueled, I put a little more hydrogen in there, so you can see the hydrogen's going to go up. I didn't really need to top it up, but I just thought, on this one, I couldn't remember if they fixed how far you have to fly to get out of atmosphere. It used to be ridiculously far, but it's not too bad. Now, I could click landing surfaces here on the screen and request a takeoff, or hit F11, hit friends, hit landing surfaces, and you can request takeoff that way. So if it's not on your screen, you can just use your mobi glass. You have to be sitting in a seat in order to use mobi glass, but once you do, you're able to contact ATC for a takeoff. So you can see the doors are opening. I'm going to hit space to take off a little bit. Don't hold it down, but just enough to get off the ground. Once that's done, I can hit tap N, and that will pull my landing gear in. I don't know if I do. Yeah, there you go. So you can see my landing gear coming in. You can see now gear is not lit up on my HUD. And just hitting W, I'm going to fly straight out, and I am now flying around Orison. Now you can take the time to fly around Orison and explore. You can always decide to come back to the spaceport and request a landing again, but we are going to head straight up into space. Now larger ships, you can't do this. You can't push straight up, otherwise you're not going to get any higher. We can see we're 80,000 feet above the planet's surface. That's how high Orison is. But we need to get 150,000 feet up before we're able to use our jump drive. So I've most wheeled up, but even then I'm only hitting about 185 meters per second right now, 190 now. It's slowly going up. So some ships you can't push straight up, and even then you're pushing your maximum to try to get up and out of the atmosphere. So we are just rising, taking our time. We're only at 86,000, so this takes quite a while. So I know I edited this. I took out a lot of the flying that we're going to take in order to get out of the atmosphere, because it's just flying straight up for the longest time to get out. So we can see here we're at 146,000, 147,000, 148,000. We're almost at 150. And we are now at 150,000. So we're now able to tap B to turn on our jump drive, and we're able to choose a location we're going to jump to. So pushing F2 opens up your stars map, and you're able to, I don't know, I'm having issues with my mobi glass here. There you go. You're able to choose a location and set a route, and you are high enough now that you can jump. Now I've turned off where I've set off my locations, because one thing is good to do is you can just have no location set and find an orbital marker. Here's an orbital marker right here, and you can see that it's 7,668 kilometers away. But if you look at our altitude, it went to 200,000, 300,000, over 2,000, and we are definitely in space. You definitely don't have to worry now about falling back in the atmosphere or having to deal with the thick atmosphere of the planet. Jumping to an orbital marker is always a good bet. So I've jumped to Port Olisar now. Once you leave Orison, it's a good idea sometimes to go to Port Olisar. And from Port Olisar, you don't have to land there, but just get close enough that it says request a landing. And did I use my screen? I did. I just used my screen now to request a landing. And once I requested a landing and one was granted, and a little symbol pops up on one of the landing pads showing me where they want me to land, right there. I've now set my spawn at Port Olisar. So now if I leave the game and come back, I don't have to fly all the way through that thick atmosphere again. I've set my spawn at a space station, which I can then start at to go to any location. Or if there was ever a game crash, I'm definitely a lot quicker to start at a space station than at Orison. Landing at Orison is a little bit more difficult. You need to know what you're looking for, and you're going to be traveling a massive distance. So I am heading towards Orison right now, and you can see it arriving in the distance. And once it pops into view and your jump drive has cooled down so you can jump again, you either want to set Orison as your location on your star map, or just tapping B to turn your jump drive on if it isn't on already. You just want to look over the planet's surface, looking again for the home plate shape, the five-sided shape with the point pointing down. You want to find Orison, and you want to aim towards it. So I'm looking around here, trying to find Orison, and there it is. Looks like home plate pointing down. It's just to the right there. So I'm going to aim at it with my jump drive on. It's already spooled. It's going to calibrate. This is where you're going to lose a lot of frame rate. So I think I can't recall if I actually cut this video or not, but it's definitely going to have some issues. It's beautiful, don't get me wrong. It looks amazing. But you can see it's starting to give me basically a slideshow as I'm flying over the clouds. But when it works, it looks amazing. Here we are, we're coming over the clouds now. They look awesome. And we are coming quite a distance. You definitely wouldn't want to fly this using just engines. This is what takes the most of your time. So it comes up high, and then we're going to come straight down into the clouds towards the city. So once we get closer, it's going to come into view. It's down here deep in these clouds. There it is. Look at that. Wow. Now this is massive. I didn't realize the first time that Orison was going to be as big as it is. It is huge. All these different industrial platforms and living areas, everything you can explore, but it's so hard to know where you're going if you're not sure where you're supposed to go.
Quantum travel complete.
So once our jump drive has cooled down, we look here, Orison is 76 kilometers away. My hint to you is fly till you're 60 kilometers away. Fly until you're 60 kilometers away. Don't worry about aiming too much until then. Once you're about 60 kilometers away, you can look, Orison shows up there. The target is on that centerpiece there. You can see there's a bunch of those round ring-shaped places. And then if you have those on the right of where Orison is, look to the left and you can see something that looks like a spider. So I'm going to kind of aim at it. I'm going to show you. To me, it's kind of like a spider. This shape here. Oh, we're moving a bit. We're going to try to slow down. So this shape, that is the spaceport. So Orison is in the center. The rings are on the right. The spaceport is on the left when you come in. So we're going to fly a bit closer, and I'll probably do a cut because it does take a while to fly down there. But that is what you're aiming at. That is the spaceport. So again, Orison, where the little home plate is, rings to the left, or right, sorry, spaceport's to the left. Have I been saying that wrong the whole time? Spaceport left, rings right. Hopefully I haven't been messing that up. Getting left and right somehow mixed up on my brain. So we're just going to fly down. We're a little bit closer now. The shape again, like I said, to me it reminds me of a bit of like a spider. Get closer and closer. If you look, we started at about 150,000. We're now about 90,000. closer and closer, you're starting to see some of the green on the spaceport, and you're heading towards the main hub, the center of the spaceport. So I think a sign just popped up saying we can contact ATC. No, it just said we're entering a restricted zone. So we gotta wait till the words at the top of the screen say contact ATC to land, and then we can request a landing using either our MFD or F11, and then choosing friends and requesting a landing that way. So there it's just popped up, please contact ATC to land at the top of the screen. So just using the MFD, we've requested a landing. If you don't have that on your screen, you don't know how to switch your MFDs, just use F11, friends, and request a landing. And we've been granted, we just have to find where we're supposed to go. So in order to do that, just kind of look around for a circle with an arrow on it. There it is. That shows up. That is where we're going. Now I wasn't sure, I thought this was a hangar at first, but this is more of like one of the docking bays. So you get yourself lined up nice and slow, so you can see I've used the mouse wheel down to get my maximum speed relatively slow so that I'm not going to smash into the corner. This is the one where I've made a mistake. Don't make the mistake I made. This is a huge bay, so you don't need to land where I did. Move up a bit, because when you land where I did, once you get out of your ship, you've got to run all the way across this bay in order to get into your elevator, where if I'd just flown a little bit farther, I would have saved myself a lot of running. But as you can see here, I close up my ship and I turn around, and now look at how much I got to run. This is ridiculous. I could have saved so much time just by flying my ship, you know, a couple hundred feet faster, or farther, I should say. So in here, you can take elevators out to the terminal, go to one of the Esop Terminals and store your ship to make sure it's stored. Once it's stored, we're going to head around the center area here. Now, one thing I pointed out in here that I didn't before, this is where you can buy a little stuffed toy that you can like bring around with you, put it in your ship. We've got a larger storm whale here. We got Francis, and I can't remember the name of the other one here. Stormy, I don't remember the name. Finley, there you go. And those are the smaller ones, 75. The bigger ones are 150. You can buy those and carry them around. Now, we go down this way. We're going to head through to the Skyway Transit. From the transit, you can either take one that brings you to the Providence platform, which I believe has like a mining equipment for sale, a couple stores, or you can take the transit that will bring you right to the main concourse, which has all the shopping, the hospital, all the different areas. So here is the underground, and we've just walked into the main area. So you can choose either going to Providence platform or to the Cloudview Center. And so I suggest Cloudview Center, although we don't get to see me fly there because the ship's not going to arrive for a while. I think it was about a minute, so I think I called this here. And that is it. That is how you fly and land and take off from Orison. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope to see you soon in the verse. Thanks for watching.